Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to today's installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today. So today is kind of like a backlot car video, only I'm not at the dealership. I'm actually at my school. Just got out of school a little bit ago, and I wanted to show you guys a car that we had in the shop that was actually donated to us, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot that we can do with it. There's a lot more wrong with it than anticipating, and it's just kind of taking up space in the lab. So we got it outside, and the car's eventually, I don't know what we're doing with it. I wanted to document the car before it gets scrapped or sold. I don't know. But anyway, have a look. So before we actually go into the tour of this 1988 Buick Reatta, I just want to go ahead and let you guys know just a couple of the stats about the Reatta. The Reatta was only offered from 1988 to 1991, so that means this Reatta that we are looking at today was amongst the very first of the Reattas out there. As a matter of fact, from the entire lifespan of the Reatta from 1988 to 1991, only 21,751 units were built, 4,708 of those being from the 1988 model year. The reason why I say the car is kind of rare is because a lot of these cars really aren't out there as much as they used to be. The car was actually amongst technology that was way ahead of its time, and therefore there were a lot of issues with the electronics, and the cars, would break, and a lot of people just ditched these cars, while some of these, some people today are actually still trying to look for these Reattas, and they're actually, in a way, kind of like the Aztec, they kind of came back in a way. It's kind of a collector to an extent. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a pretty awesome car, and I would not mind, being able to get my hands on one of these and drive one one day. Too bad it's not the one being shown here today. Okay, enough of me talking. Here is the tour of this 88 Reatta. Enjoy. So this is a 1988 Buick Reatta, and it's a pretty sad looking car. I mean, it's been through a lot. So the owner of this car donated it to the school, and it's sat for quite some time. There's way too many issues with it, mostly because it sat. Rodents chewed up just about every wiring harness you could imagine in this car. Inside's pretty clean. Most of the damage is, of course, under the hood. But yeah, and reason why I thought I'd document this is because these cars are actually slightly rare. It's a rare breed of car. And I don't know, just have one present, I guess. But somebody liked this car at one time, because there's a lot of the window stickers still with it. Still has the original key. Look at all the moss and stuff growing on it. So we had it in our shop here at the school for it's been a little over a month, I think, and we were trying to see if we can get it to run. Unfortunately, it still does not run. Wiring for the fuel system and the ignition system are both destroyed. So I think the school is going to maybe sell it or sell the parts. I'm not 100% sure. If we go under the hood, which isn't latched, where can I find this thing? There it is.
can see stuff falling out of the hood. It's got the bulletproof 3.8 liter V6 pre-Series 2 V6. So this motor probably runs like a champ, I would imagine. We can get it to crank, but there's no, like I said, there's no spark and there's no fuel. So yeah, the rodents just tore everything up under the hood of this car. You can see where the ABS wiring is, that's all chewed up. That's some of our fuel wires there, chewed up. Harness down here, chewed up. There's one of the battery cables over here, chewed up. Wiring underneath down there, chewed up. I mean, there's wires everywhere that are all chewed up. Even the spark plug. You see the wires there on the spark plug wires. The coating has been chewed off. Up there, chewed up. Oil. Pitch black. Found grass in the transmission dipstick fill. It's very interesting scenario. But I want to hear this car run, unfortunately. When you have the battery hooked up, the battery's shot, by the way, but when you keep power to the battery, the ABS light and the right rear taillight are the only two things that come on. You can get the headlights on if you push the switch. They're pop-up headlights. They look pretty neat when they're up. But yeah, so that's what's under the hood. The hood doesn't shut all the way. I like the color. One of the guys in the shop actually tried to polish this section of the hood. So compared to the rest of the hood, it's actually kind of clear and shiny. But the inside really isn't all that bad. The steering wheel is funky. It turns, but something's up with the wheel. Parts are missing. Seats for an 88 are actually in really good shape. There are some cracks and whatnot, but there's no tears in the leather. Armrest is obviously worn out. What I'm really sad about is this had the all digital instrumentation, and it also was one of the first cars to ever feature a fully functional touchscreen. This is 1988 we're talking about, so that was big technology back in the day. Door locks, your seat controls are actually here on the door panel, which is kind of bulging out. Get in. So light controls over here on the side, cruise, your hazards, your other cruise are right here. Here's the cap for the wheel, so it looks like that originally. Like I said, all digital. I really wish I can get this on. Wipers, defrost. But yeah, take a look at this. So this little screen here, when it was on, it almost looked like an old I can't really explain it, but like it was all green lettering, really no graphics really. I mean, it was just green, and you know, you would push things like you would on today's touchscreen. So this was like the gateway to the touchscreens of today. You can see climate, summary, radio, gauges, options, and status. So it kind of gives you some of the categories that you could view with this touchscreen. There was also, I think, a hidden service menu that technicians knew about, so you can actually use this as like a diagnostic computer, kind of. So I really wish that worked. I could show you guys that. It has a cassette player. It actually opens up like a home cassette player, like a hi-fi system. So you put the tape in, you slide it down in, instead of, you know, putting it in that way. It slides in. Fog lamps, fuel door, trunk, glove box, electronic glove box, and lamp retract. That was for the lights up there. Obviously, it was an automatic. Here's your window controls, your mirror controls, ashtray, deep storage console there. And I can't open the glove box because, like I said, it's electronic, so there's no power to it. I wish you could see some of the... You can see some of it. You can kind of see what some of the display had to offer. A little bit. And then, like I said, warning lamps and stuff down there. Here's the bag with the goodies in it. So like I said, somebody actually kept the window sticker and they laminated it. So in 1988, this car was $25,525. So that is that was probably a lot for 1988, but that's really awesome that that's actually here in the car. And this is cool too. This is templates for the spare, or for the keys. So these slide out. Let me see if I can get it. They're plastic. There we go. So this is like a copy of the ignition key right here, and the door key slides out of the other side. Let's see if I can get it to come out with my fingers. I can't get it out. But anyway, you get the idea. So this was pretty cool. They slide in there. They don't come out. So that's there. And also behind me there is a GM service manual. It's in pieces, but this is the official final edition for the Reatta and the Buick Riviera. So we were looking through this, trying to diagnose our troubles. It only got us so far, unfortunately. In the back, there's no seats, just a couple of cubby holes underneath the floor there, and an access to the trunk and 2 speakers. So yeah, it was a two-seater car there. And we'll see if we can get the trunk open. I don't know if it'll open without the battery being on. I don't think it does. No. But the trunk is actually pretty large, you know, for a car of this time, a car of this era. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't really show you guys, you know, how it runs and stuff. I'd like to know myself. I bet that engine probably runs fairly decent for it being the engine that it is. But yeah, so like I said, it's kind of like a backlot car, only there's not really much I could do with it. But there you go, the 1988 Buick Reatta, not Riviera. 1988 Buick Reatta. So I thought that that was a very interesting car to take a look at. The Reatta, I know, is, like I said earlier, somewhat of a rare car. Every now and then you can actually come across other YouTube videos with nice examples of the car. It's the first time I've ever seen one in person. First time, you know, like I got to look at one. I definitely think it's a pretty neat car. It's definitely kind of in a way like a historic GM car there, with it in its advanced technologies, if you will, for the time period. Yeah, so I thought you guys would enjoy that. I'm sorry again that I can't really get it to run or anything, but just, you know, kind of looking at it and going through, you know, the features and whatnot of that particular one, I thought was pretty neat. So there you go. I'm gonna head home now, eat real quick, and then I gotta go to work. So if you guys enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Also check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. And that's all I've got for today, guys. So I will see you next time. Thank you again so much for watching. Take care.